Hey there, friends. So I ran across something because I was looking through some logo design contests. I don't know if you ever have your students enter these or just look at them. I have mine look at them for inspiration a lot, and there's a ton of them. But when you go into these logo design contests, a lot of times you can find, like, you can browse contests and you can go look at contests that have either already completed or that are currently going on. And you can kind of see what other people have submitted. So I don't know what this one is. I haven't clicked on it before, but you go down here and you can see different people's submissions. And when my kids do them in class, they're like this, we get them finished and that's how it is. And maybe sometimes I'll have them do a light version and a dark version like that. But I noticed on these contests, like some people had these like fancy window decorations. Sometimes there'd be like billboards and it'd be on a billboard or something like that. And I thought, that's really interesting. How are these people like putting this on stationery and stuff like that? Well, so the other day I decided to just look for, I know they're called mock-ups, that's what they're creating. And I thought, well, are there those things out there that I can download? Because I really don't want to make them. And yeah, there's a ton of them. So you can see mock-ups for t-shirts, for billboards, for cups. All kinds of different mock-ups exist out there. And on most of these websites, they're free. It'll even say free for personal and commercial use. They just do ask that you link back to them. So Free Mockup Zone is one of my favorites. I really like the way theirs work. But the way most of these work is they are created using what they call smart objects in Photoshop. Now, I do teach what smart objects are in Photoshop, but in my class where we do a lot of logo design, which is multimedia, we don't teach Photoshop in there, so they don't know Photoshop. So I'm going to kind of show you, in case you teach an Illustrator class or you do your own logo creation but you don't use Photoshop, how you can use these mock-ups. So I've already downloaded this mock-up for this t-shirt. And I actually haven't used this one, so we'll see how this goes. When you download them, they are usually zip files. So if they are zip files, you're going to have to extract them. So I have a folder that's got a ton of folders in it right now because I've been downloading a bunch of things the last day. But anyway, right in here is the Photoshop file. And they're usually pretty big. I mean, they're good size. So when you get these, they're all a little different. This particular one, you can see here, they've got a bunch of, these are called clipping masks in here. But you don't have to know a lot about Photoshop. You just have to know most of these are going to have a smart object. That's that little icon right there that tells you it's a smart object. And it says click edit. So I'm going to double click this little icon. And that takes you into theirs. Now, I'm not going to worry about the font because I'm going to get rid of theirs. But they have something in there as a placeholder. All you've got to do is place your artwork. Now, in Photoshop, you can place Illustrator artwork. So you could just take it straight out of Illustrator, an AI file. Or you could, export it out as a PNG or whatever. I'm just going to throw a logo on here. So I'm going to file and then place embedded. You could do linked. That would stay linked to the original source. I'm just going to put a copy of it. Here's just a bunch of random things that I have out. On here I have my Skinner cycling. We ordered cycling shirts as a family one day. I created this in Illustrator. So there it is. I'm going to hit OK to sit it down. You can resize it before you hit OK. You just hold Shift and pull from the corner unless you're in CC 2019, and you don't have to hold Shift anymore. And then turn off the layers it came with. Now what you're in right now is the Smart Object file, which is PSB. So it's kind of weird, like the t-shirt disappeared, right? All you have to do is close this tab and save. And there you go. It puts your design on that. And because they have like different things like already built into here, it usually will put in like shadows or the wrinkles, like it'll kind of make it look a little different. And I don't know why all these are turned off. I guess there's different materials that you can pretend that it's on, and you can modify these a little bit. But basically that's the gist of it. So let's try that again with this coffee cup. So this is another one I've downloaded. You can see here it says add logo here. This is actually a hidden layer, probably linked to something in here someplace. And again, you don't have to like mess with most of this stuff because it's already linked in here. However, you can see here this one does have like, this is the color fill for the background. So if you wanted a different color, you just double click it. The coffee cup has a lid, so I'm assuming in here's a lid. They're usually pretty organized like this. And I could switch this if I don't want purple. But anyway, I'm going to add my logo. So I'm going to double click the smart object. It's in here. I'm going to place mine. I'll just place the same one again just to make things simple. There we go. Scale it up if you want it to be bigger. So again, I'm holding shift, but in the older versions you don't have to do, or in the newest versions you don't have to do that. And hit enter. I'm going to turn off their layer. And you could delete their layer, but I'm just too lazy. And we're going to hit save, yes. And there's mine on the little cup. And then if I wanted to change that top, say I wanted to make it green or whatever to match, I would open up the lid, double click this purple, and then go find the green. You can also come click out here. So there we go, bam. And I got green. If I don't like the color of the background, I could come in here and make it black. And then bam, we've got my logo right there on the little cup. Is that not cool? Now if you had other things like, say they created some other type of project that would be good on a billboard. This is a billboard one. This one you kind of need to know ahead of time, I guess, that you're making a billboard because it's a certain ratio, you know, otherwise you're going to cut off some of the edges. I'm just going to open this up and look for my smart object. There it is. I'm going to double click. So here's their little billboard. And then I can place something else. And I'm just going to grab some other random something out of here. I think I have a Think Big project that's kind of similar to that shape. I may have to cut off some of it. So I'll place this in here and then scale it up. There we go. Again, this isn't really a billboard, but you know, pretend. All right, I'm gonna hit OK to sit it down so it'll clear it up. All right, there we go. Turn theirs off, close the smart object and save, and then bam, if I turn the eyeball on, there I am on the billboard. So if your students created a billboard design, they could just pop it on a billboard and see what it looks like up in the sky. Anyway, I love this. It's already transformed properly and all of that. Now, if you really did want to make sure that things were the right size, when you get in here and onto your smart object, you can go to image and image size for the smart object just to see what size that is, and then switch it to pixels if you want to. But you can see this one's 3,872 pixels by 1805. So if I was going to create this original billboard, I'd probably want to make it that size first. That way I know when I put it in here, it's already going to be the right size. But either way, it still works. So, and then of course they could post these to a portfolio, which would be a little more meaningful than just posting, you know, a plain blank logo or whatever. Anyway, so there you go, folks. Just a nice, easy way to integrate Photoshop mock-ups using artwork this is created in Photoshop, or Illustrator or wherever. Have fun!